Hello, this is Opera SM with the From the Ashes Alliance of Coalitions. Today I'm going to be talking about a deck that's near to my heart. I like to call it the Freegionnaire Combo deck, a wonderful name that Madron from Goblin Pile came up with. But the focus of this deck is to cast a lot of free spells. There are 8 spells in this deck that all cost 2 or less, which will be free with Goblin Electromancer on the board. Many of these spells are targeted spells, which you can target at 10th District Legionnaire to give it +1/+1 and draw a card. So looking through the list, we've got several spells that can target to pump up your creatures. Haunted Cloak can give your creature Vigilance, Haste, and Trample, as well as pump it from Legionnaire's ability. This is helpful in making your creature be able to block and also be able to trample through opposing blocking creatures. You can also target your opponent's creatures, and with the first strike in this deck, make it so you can kill large opposing creatures pretty easily. Integrity as well as pumping does allow you to, doesn't happen a lot, but you can use the backside for a little value if you need to kill something small. The other spells in this deck are to increase consistency of finding the combo. Really, you just want to get those 2 creatures in play, and then you can string together a whole bunch of spells to make Legionnaire big very quickly. Pull from Tomorrow is the best option of these. I'm playing Raul Zarek in this build, but you can actually use any Planeswalker that has 8 spell slots along with those 2 creatures. But Pull from Tomorrow and blue in the deck is fantastic because it gives you access to all the blue card draw and filtering spells. But Pull from Tomorrow for 2 mana, letting you discard a card and draw 5 cards, is the best option available. You can also do some really cool tricks to discard the creatures that will clog your hand, which we'll see when we play the deck, and also just jump start you back if a turn does end with almost a full hand of cards to start comboing off again. Artificer's Epiphany is a cantrip, and strategic planning fetches, and it's great, and it lets you get rid of creatures that you would have otherwise drawn into. So let's give this deck a run here. I'm actually going to try a Trial of the Plains legendary match with this so we get a good, nice, fun matchup. It should be challenging. Let's see how it goes. Again, I'm using Ralzeric here. I like him the best of the Planeswalkers that I can think of. You can also use Bolus 1, Tameo. I believe the Dovin Bonds can also have 8 spell slots to work with in the colors of those 2 creatures. But with Rawl's first ability to fetch one of your first 4 cards, give it some mana, its middle ability for some damage to pump up a spell, but its ultimate, which if you ever, you don't often, sometimes you can win even before you get up to that loyalty, but if you need it, it's great to kill opposing creatures or just throw a ton of damage to your opponent's face. So again, the goal is just to get our Legionnaire out as soon as possible, and also our Goblin Electromancer. So let's take a look here at what we can do. I'm probably just going to try to play the Legionnaire first and then Pull from Tomorrow to look for other combo pieces. That way, as I'm drawing more targeted spells with the Legionnaire, I can draw into new cards and make it a bigger threat. So let's see, I've got a match 5 with whites here, so I'm probably going to take that first. Let's double check to make sure there's not anything better. Don't see anything better right now, so let's take that match. Wonderful. Let's see, we need 5 mana left. Let's see if we can get up to 7 or more so we can play this Pull from Tomorrow. Don't see anything immediately obvious here for that. But let's check. We can get 3 black and 3 loyalty, which would be good. Taking a little more time to think about these matches than normal because with the legendary it's going to get hairy pretty quickly. Let's see if we can try to get the combo going before that. Let's see, we're at 2 loyalty. Yeah, so we can get up to 6 loyalty on the following turn to help us try to fetch as well. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Oh, wonderful, great, we got it. Technically, I probably should have sequenced those the opposite way, but I didn't know I was going to cascade, so that's fine. All right, we'll pull from tomorrow, discard the other draw spell, another pull from tomorrow. That's great to dig. Legionnaire. A couple targeted spells here. Okay, so we're going to start swinging here, and great, we've got a lot of mana to charge up these spells, which is wonderful. So we're going to put all the targeted spells first. I'm just going to get rid of this Legionnaire probably, but let's see. We can get up to 16 mana with the mana gains, but that's still not going to let us cast everything. Well, 11, yeah, that's not going to let us cast everything. So we'll get rid of that, put all the targeted spells first. And then we'll put the pull from tomorrow last. So actually, before I do this, we're going to go ahead and use Rawl's first ability, see if I can find an Electromancer. No Electromancer, but we have another pull from tomorrow, which might be good. The other option would be to take the Integrity, which is great because never mind, I'm thinking of different Planeswalker here. So I'm just going to take the pull from tomorrow for a little more reach to try to dig here. I may not actually cast it this turn because I might just want to save it for next turn. Great, so again, we're going to target our Legionnaire with these spells. Each time we target it, in addition to the pump the spell gives, it's going to get +1/+1 and draw us a card from Legionnaire's triggered ability. So this creature is going to start growing pretty fast here. I will cast one pull from tomorrow. It's not the most efficient with all this stuff I drew. Great, and we have an Electromancer, so we're about to be off to the races. Hopefully we can start comboing off on our turn 3. I'm going to need some mana to do that, which I don't quite see here. But let's see what we got here. Got some loyalty matches. Is that really the only thing on the board? That would be kind of junky, but if that's the case, we've got a white match. I'd take that right now to just try to get some more mana at the moment. Looks like that might be what we're stuck with, but that's okay. All right, so right now I'm actually just going to discard this strategic planning and see if I draw into another pump spell at the moment, since I already have the pieces that I need. We're going to save the pull from tomorrow. Alright, so opponent maybe playing some sort of Omni Hulk deck or something. Let's see, this is unfortunate with our mana situation right here. Hopefully we don't get comboed out, but let's see what we can find. We can get white mana, maybe get a green or a loyalty after that. Yeah, let's just take the white match for now. I'm actually going to put pull from tomorrow on the bottom and have all targeted spells above that, because we might be able to do a trick if we do get a cascade here to maybe discard a creature that might be drawn, but we'll get more into the details of that when we get there. Nope, I'm going to have to wait one more turn. That is most unfortunate. So yeah, it looks like we probably are playing against some Omni Hulk variant. We did at least get a little lucky in the sense that we got to drawn to another Electromancer. Let's see, again, not the best matches we're getting. I'm going to actually use his top ability again. See if I can find something else. Just going to take a pull from tomorrow. And let's see. It's the green. No, we have a black match. Black into green. All right, that'll give us some mana. We're just going to do that right now. See what happens. Wonderful. We got it. Okay, great. So what we're going to do here is we have all targeted spells and then an Electromancer at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to target the Legionnaire with the targeted spells until I draw a creature. And if I draw a creature, then I will start targeting a non-Legionnaire creature. That way, I won't draw a card off of things, and then when I'm going to discard, okay, so now I drew into a creature. So now I'm going to target my Legionnaire, excuse me, my Electromancer instead of my Legionnaire. And then now when we go to pull from tomorrow, the creature or the card that we're going to discard is the creature. That way the creature is not going to clog up our hand anymore. So this is a great way to get way more value out of this loop. You have to pay attention to what targeted spells and non-targeted spells you have. So for instance, if you were looking when we were just drawing, we drew into 2 targeted spells, and then Artificer's Epiphany was a non-targeted spell. So that means we're not going to be able to do this trick, this loop. So I'm just going to keep targeting our Legionnaire here. We'll see it's growing pretty big. I drew a non-targeted spell. We'll just pull something away. Maybe I should have actually saved that pull because we were down to 3 other cards. So sometimes what you want to do at that point is save and a pull from tomorrow in your hand. That way, when you have to stop comboing off, you next turn get to exile all of your non-spell cards that you can't cast, and then you can basically then draw back up to 5 cards, most of which will be spells, since 80% of your deck is spells. So if we do draw into another pull from tomorrow, we're just gonna automatically stop casting stuff. Maybe we'll string together quite a few spells before that, get a little extra damage in, would be wonderful. Great, so we have a pull from tomorrow. We are not gonna cast this pull from tomorrow, so not now. Stop the loop. Got a swing for 33, not bad. He'll shrink down a little bit here. We'll keep going. So this is the real trick, and as you can see, now we can really take advantage of this pull from tomorrow. So let's see, looking at the board, I don't think we have a match that can get us up to 9 mana for the Electromancer. So we're probably going to exile all the creatures from our hand, though what we could actually do is exile all but one. That way if we do Cascade and we get to cast the first creature, great. Then it casts, and then pull from tomorrow will still draw us cards. If we don't Cascade into anything, though, it would just discard the Electromancer. We're still drawing 5 new cards and can get started here. So let's see. We could get a white into Loyalty. That might be okay. I don't think we can get any blue or red matches here. Can get black into nothing. Yeah, so I'm just going to take the white match. We probably aren't going to get anything, but it's only upside if we do get to cast the Electromancer here. Great, and we did get to cast the Electromancer. So it's, again, this is a deck of a lot of small edges, and if you play tightly, you can really get rewarded and get that extra little reach and extra damage in, which sometimes can make the difference here. So now we're just going to start drawing. So we drew non-targeted spell, non-targeted spell, pull from tomorrow, targeted spell, non-targeted spell. So we're not going to be able to do our trick of casting stuff on the non-Electromancer for a while, but we'll keep track. We just drew 1 targeted spell here. We're going to pull so we get back up to 6 cards in hand, which is great. And hopefully we can just win this turn. We'll see. We might end up drawing into a bunch of stuff that clogs up our hand, but again, we're going to try to mitigate that by doing our pull from tomorrow card filtering trick as able. Okay, so targeted spell. Two targeted spells on the bottom. Non-targeted. Okay, so we have non-targeted, so probably won't work, but we're still going to target the Legionnaire, and if we do drawn to a creature, with that non-targeted spell, we might still be able to discard it, but great. Got lucky here, which is great. Sometimes that happens. I'll take it. All right, so we drew into a creature. So what I want to do is target the non-Legionnaire creature here. Great, and now we can pull from tomorrow. So we've discarded 2 cards already, this time with that trick. So it's helped it. If we hadn't, we would only have 1 spell left in our hand, so we would almost be done looping. But because of this, we still have 3 spells that we can keep going with. So this is great. Hopefully that little trick will allow us to get 30 plus more damage just to win this turn. And if you screw up doing the targeted stuff, as long as you have a pull from tomorrow in your hand, even if you mess up with the targeting stuff and you don't end up discarding a creature, it's not a big deal. You just don't get a little extra value out of it. But this deck, I think, is actually a fantastic deck. If you're newer, don't have a lot of the mythics and rares and masterpieces that some of the older decks require, and it teaches you to play really tightly. In this sort of situation, I almost always will take the strategic planning over the pump spell, just because you're likely going to draw into another pump spell from it, but you can use that to effectively scry 3 and then prevent yourself from drawing some of the creatures that would clog your hand. So it's great. Think of it as scry, surveil, stuff like that, to find what you want while getting rid of stuff that you don't want. Okay, non-targeted on the bottom. I'm still going to take the pull from tomorrow at this point. Strategic planning doesn't really matter what we get because we're going to have to discard what this card is. With 3 cards left and close enough to 75 damage, I think I will pull from tomorrow. We would almost certainly be guaranteed to win the following turn if not, but we're just going to try to take it here. So here's a pull from tomorrow. I don't remember exactly what all the cards were. Hopefully this next one's a targeted spell. Yep, a targeted spell. And now we're going to do this trick again. So we're down to only 2 creatures in hand. So this can keep going for quite a while sometimes. So it's a really, really handy trick. You can play this deck without pull from tomorrow. It is a little harder to recover stuff. But within blue and red and black, you have basically the shell that I have. There's not as many 2 or less drop targeted or draw or fetch spells that you can use. But if you play it with Tamiyo or a blue-green version or something, you can... there's a lot more common and uncommon pump spell options. Actually, in Tamiyo, there's a couple targeted 2 or less drop spells that you have to not run, actually, if you have all the cards. So it can really... There's a lot of different ways to build, even if you don't have the exact cards, though pull from tomorrow is nice. Haunted, the Haunted 1-drop spell, colorless spell, is nice, but it's not necessarily needed if you have other cards that can fill out all the spells in this deck. And if you're playing white, you can find there's a card that'll give a creature +2/+2 enabled in Defender, I believe, and that can kind of run the same role if you do run white in the deck. All right, let's see if we can just win this turn. I might have gotten a little greedy before when I didn't save the pull, but playing against Legendary right here, I really want to just try to win before he can potentially combo off and beat me this turn. And if not, I can definitely next turn probably swing as long as he doesn't kill me here. So let's see. Yep, and he hit that creature, but hopefully he doesn't kill our Electromancer. Yeah, so he was playing Omni Hulk, so we beat an Omni Hulk on Legendary, which is pretty nice. I should actually have just won this game and not actually played that. We don't even need it. But yeah, so let's see what turn this was. This was not the fastest kill on this deck, but we're still winning on turn 7, which is great. I mean, with really good draws, you can win earlier than that. I've definitely won a decent amount of games before turn 5 with this deck. I don't remember if it's the norm. I have a spreadsheet that I've tracked some of this information on. But yeah, it's a really cool deck. If you have any questions, please ask me in the comments. I love talking about this deck, and I've worked on way too many hours on this trying to tune it and have fun with this sort of idea. If you don't have a Planeswalker that has 8 spell slots, you can run it with 7, though it really does decrease the loop that you can run. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll just take our win here against Omni Hulk and Legendary and be happy with this. If you're interested in looking at FTA, we're a great alliance of coalitions, and you can join us on our Slack. If you're interested, write a message here and we can send you an invite to our Slack. All right, take care. Hope to record some more of these videos or some other interesting videos for you folks at some point in the future.